And I'll also add to that, she's definitely rambling and you can sense she's uncomfortable and a lot of hand movements, but I'll also add that even when you see her walking the red carpet, she's suddenly very nice to fans. It's a totally different Blake Lively.
Something's not adding up. Blake Lively, the queen of Hollywood charm, the woman who could do no wrong, is now at the center of a storm she can't escape. But here's the thing. This isn't just about a lawsuit. This is about power, ego, and a series of decisions that have left everyone asking one question. How did it all go so wrong? You've heard the rumors. You've seen the headlines. But what you don't know is what's happening behind closed doors.
Did Ryan Reynolds ditch Blake Lively at the premiere of Another Simple Favor to save his own career?
Oh my God, I'm so happy and I'm so lucky and I love my fans.
Why is Blake suddenly so anxious? Why is Ryan Reynolds staying out of the spotlight? And why is Justin Baldoni's name still haunting her every move? Let's dive in.
If you're a good journalist and you're at that red carpet, your duty is to ask people about Blake Lively being there and the whole situation.
Blake Lively showed up to the Simple Favor 2 premiere alone. No Ryan, no entourage, just her, a forced smile, and a room full of people watching her every move. But here's the kicker. This wasn't just another red carpet. This was a test. A test to see if the public still loved her. A test to see if she could still command the room. And by the looks of it, she failed. Her energy was off. Her usual confidence replaced by nervous rambling.
It was interesting. Blake Lively was on the red carpet. We did see her. She did stop and say hello to fans, but there were a couple of clips that started to go a bit viral from the premiere.
At one point, she even joked about shooting the movie in Connecticut instead of Capri, but the laughter felt hollow. The room knew something was wrong.
He wanted to shoot in Capri, and I was like, that sounds amazing, but it's very expensive, and let's just, shoot in Connecticut. That's where the first one took place. I didn't understand why it needed to be Capri, and now I want to live there. I love it so much. They serve you ice cream and lemons, and it's just magical, and they sell hats. That crazy, beautiful hat was just a hat in a store. Humans buy that.
And then there's Anna Kendrick, the co-star who's been quietly distancing herself from Blake. When asked about working with Blake again, Anna gave a clipped, almost icy response. No warmth, just a cold, calculated answer that spoke volumes.
Anna, what does it mean to be working with Blake again?
Oh, talking about you.
What happened between them? Why is Anna suddenly so distant? And why is Blake's once flawless image cracking under pressure?
People commented and said, ooh, she hates her. Girl couldn't fake it. Oh, are the exact words I say when someone asks me how I am and I am barely hanging on. Oh, is the new here, damn.
Let's rewind to the set of It Ends With Us. Blake Lively wasn't just an actress on that film. She was the boss. The one calling the shots. The one making demands. Sources say Blake had a level of control that even the director, Justin Baldoni, couldn't match. She wanted changes to the script. She wanted changes to the set. She even wanted changes to the marketing. And every time, she got what she wanted. But here's the twist. This wasn't just about creative differences. This was about power.
Blake Lively may have a history of not being upfront when she gets cast in a movie, of her secret desires to actually play a much bigger role than that of lead actress.
Blake knew she was the star. She knew the movie needed her, and she used that leverage to her advantage. Justin, on the other hand, was stuck. As the director, he was supposed to be in charge. But how do you argue with someone who holds all the cards? How do you push back when the entire project depends on their cooperation?
I wanted to be a part of the storytelling, that I wanted to be a part of the narrative, whether that be in the writing, in the costume design, in creating the character. And sometimes I had directors or producers or writers who would welcome that and invite that once they saw that I was able to offer that.
The tension was palpable. The set was divided. And by the time the movie wrapped, it was clear this wasn't just a professional disagreement. This was a full-blown power struggle. But here's the question no one's asking. Why did Blake feel the need to flex so much power? Was it ego, insecurity, or something deeper?
They weren't the first to do this. It was Blake Lively, it was Ryan Reynolds, this was their strategy, and now they kind of want to put the genie back in the bottle. But guess what? The genie does not want to go back in the bottle.
If there's one moment that sums up Blake's current predicament, it's the SNL appearance. Blake and Ryan showed up together, hoping to remind the world why they're Hollywood's golden couple. But instead of applause, they got backlash. Instead of admiration, they got criticism. The skit they did, it was supposed to be funny, but it came across as tone-deaf, out of touch, and worst of all, it felt like a desperate attempt to stay relevant.
Oh, hey, Ryan Reynolds. Hey. Ryan Reynolds, how's it going?
Great. Why? What have you heard?
The internet didn't hold back. Memes flooded social media. Comment sections turned into battlegrounds. And for the first time, Blake and Ryan realized something terrifying. Their charm wasn't working anymore. But here's the real kicker. This wasn't just about a bad skit. This was about perception. The public's perception of Blake had shifted. She was no longer the untouchable star. She was someone who'd made mistakes. Someone who'd overplayed her hand. And now, she's paying the price.
I didn't like him. Just gonna be straight with you, I didn't fucking like him. So they're both equally repulsive.
And pardon my language here, but we're very used to seeing like a bitchy Blake, right? She's very unkind to reporters, and genuinely I think that there's just a lack of a better word there. She seems to hate the press junkets over the years. She barely seems to enjoy her fans. She kind of thinks that she's above her fans, thinks she's above the press, and is just always rude, right?
Let's talk about the aftermath. Blake's career is hanging by a thread. The roles aren't coming in like they used to. The offers aren't as lucrative. And the buzz around her name? It's not the kind of buzz you want. Meanwhile, Ryan Reynolds is quietly distancing himself.
Why wasn't Ryan there? I'm not surprised he wasn't there. I gotta be honest. He doesn't have to be there at every junket. Now, what this source is saying, the reason he wasn't there, they say that apparently, because of the Saturday Night Live, I love this too, because a few pro-Baldoni protesters, she'll be on our show, Kurtz was one of them.
He's not showing up to her premieres. He's not defending her in interviews. He's staying out of the spotlight, focusing on his own projects, and letting Blake deal with the fallout alone. But here's the thing, this isn't just about Blake. This is about Justin Baldoni, the man who's been quietly watching from the sidelines, the man who's been waiting for his moment to speak. And now that moment is here.
I let go of so much and I gave it to him. And no amount of I'm sorry's will ever undo it. Hurt people hurt people.
Justin Baldoni hasn't said much about the lawsuit. He hasn't gone on a press tour. He hasn't given any interviews. But his silence is louder than any statement he could make. Because here's the truth. Justin doesn't need to say anything.
Told us that Justin Baldoni denied those claims of sexual harassment and only tried to appease Blake Lively because she was such a high-maintenance diva bully brat. He had to bend over backwards just to get her to shut up and complete the film.
The facts speak for themselves. The text messages, the emails, the evidence that's been piling up behind the scenes. And now, as the case moves forward, one thing is clear. Justin isn't just fighting for himself. He's fighting for everyone who's ever been pushed around by someone with more power. But here's the question no one's asking. What happens if Justin wins? What happens if the court rules in his favor? What happens to Blake's career then?
He really sees this all the way through and makes sure we get to discovery and proves how disgusting some of these high-level celebrities can be.
This isn't just about Blake Lively. This isn't just about Justin Baldoni. This is about Hollywood. This is about power. This is about what happens when someone has too much of it and what happens when they lose it.
None of it was just due to the fact that she seems like a rather shitty person.
Because here's the thing, Blake isn't the first person to overplay her hand.
And she won't be the last.
But her story is a cautionary tale. A reminder that no matter how big you are, no matter how much power you have, it can all come crashing down. And now, As the world watches, one question remains. Can Blake bounce back? Can she rebuild her career? Can she regain the public's trust? Or is this the beginning of the end?
Read the general public response to people feeling like a bunch of A-list Hollywood bullies need to be shown that bullying is unacceptable.
The truth is, we don't know how this story ends. But one thing's for sure, Blake Lively's next move will define her legacy. Will she take accountability? Will she apologize? Or will she double down and risk losing everything? The ball's in her court, and the world is watching.